Good afternoon and welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. My name is Dan McCormick. We're live on the Greatest Salesman Show with another outrageous guest wherever you may be watching from today. If you're live with us, we'll take your comments on the screen. We'd love to know who you are, where you're from. Don't hesitate to pop up on the screen. Say hi to Fred or myself. We certainly would hope that if you hear about us 6 months from now, 6 years from now, you'll leave a comment, you'll leave a review, you'll leave a share. You can hit hashtag replay. And we just couldn't be more excited for the series that the Greatest Salesman has produced. A living philosophy that Og Mandino left us with literally 52 years ago. And I could not be more excited to be the ambassador for the Og Mandino Company and the host of the Greatest Salesman podcast. My guest today is a friend that whenever the phone rings and I see this name, it is a jolt to my adrenaline. He is my good friend from now Tennessee, Fred Elias. How are you today?
I am excited. I've been pumped. I'm getting ready to play a football game. Honest to God, for the last 2 days, I've been pumped, jacked, and wired. My wife's like, bring it down. So I'm just thrilled to be here with you, brother.
Well, we're excited to have you. And I know that one of the things that I like to do before we get into our relationship and dive into the Greatest Salesman, what I love to do at the outset, all of our guests, I love to just add a value proposition to our listeners that come on right away and just say, from the Fred Elias paradigm, what are 3 things that shape your life or each and every day that you live?
Well, I think the first to say is God in my life. And I'll be honest with you, we kind of go in phases. No matter how much money I've made or how much I didn't have early, God is always strong. And, it's like, what makes you more happy than that? And that's been the foundation for my family early on. And then my family has been so important to me. And also I include family as lots of the people that have come into my life, great friends, great mentors like you. And that's really been an integral part of my life. The next thing I'd say is, my work ethic, because I do take pride in my work ethic. I always would say, whether that be in the gym or in business, that nobody could outwork me. Because I just always knew that if I worked hard, I would beat 90% of the people. Nice. And I could at least work hard and give it my all. And just being persistent and consistent every day at whatever that is that I do. And I think the last thing, which is really important to me, and this probably came later, was that I had to keep working on me to be, to constantly get better. So I say, constant and never ending improvement. And some great guy in my life who has been one of the greatest mentors of my life, said to me a long time ago, he said, work harder on you than you do your business. And that was you. Do you remember saying that to me? I know you said it to many, but today I've gotten so much. I've been blessed. I can't believe my gratitude. It is its highest ever, but I have to continue to get better, because the bottom line is, Dan, I've got to continue. I have to pay it forward to thousands of people. And that is what fulfills my heart.
Wow. It's interesting because, genetically speaking, you were gifted in some way, shape, or form, because I certainly, no matter how much weight I put on the bar, I wouldn't have been able to compete with you in a bodybuilding contest. But I wonder, where do you think that work ethic came from? Where did the drive come from for you, as I look at your list of 3 things here? Because to me, there's a lot of people that can sprint 40 yards, but you've been at the game and the craft of making you better for a lot of years now.
Well, the drive, I think it's, for me, it started at home. My mother was amazing. And you don't realize how much you appreciate, I think, your parents until you get a little bit older. And for me, it was like, and I always loved my mom and dad. I mean, they were amazing people in my life. But I was probably 21, and I realized just how great my parents were. But they worked hard, Dan. I didn't grow up with much. I mean, it sounds crazy, but there was 5 of us in the family, and we lived in one room, and we had a bathroom. It was 300 square feet. That's what I lived in.
Wow.
And so, but my parents worked so hard every day, and I learned that great work ethic from them. And but I'm very driven, and I never wanted anybody to outwork me, whether that be on the football field. I would fight to the death, and in the gym. And I transitioned, I always say in my bodybuilding career, I was a light heavyweight national competitor. But, in order to be the best, I had to show up every day. I had to show up to the gym every day. I had to do the repetitions. I had to train hard. I had to eat right. And I was not going to let anybody outwork me, no matter who my partners were or who I was competing against. So that's one thing I could control.
Yeah.
Is my consistency on a daily basis and my work ethic. And then I just transitioned that into business.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think what's exciting for those that are coming in, and you can see so many of your friends, your teammates, your wife commenting, talking about how much you love people. And I know you to love people. And I know when you and I get on the phone, volumes can get escalated because we're kind of like selling each other on how great life is and the kind of contribution we can make. But if you are new to the show today, every Wednesday, Wisdom Wednesday, 2:00, the greatest salesman in the world is sitting in that chair. He's Fred Elias today, everybody. If you're new to us, you've never been here before, you can find him on Facebook, Freddy Elias, and you can message him, add him as a friend. You want to do that, contact him. He's a mentor. He's a friend. He's a great leader to so many people. So now that we're not even 10 minutes in here, and we've already covered some real nuggets for people. Obviously, this has struck a chord for people. The fact that you were impacted that much by that comment that says work harder than you than you do on your business. What does that mean? How does that resonate with you? And maybe some ideas can spill out for all those that are listening. They're finding that to be a real interesting paradigm.
Well, I just think that, first of all, I want to say this. I got to tell you that I did not know personal growth, okay, until I was 26. I will say that, again, I go back to my foundation of my family and my parents. My mom was always a positive, upbeat person, right? My mother would never, she would always say to me, if you have nothing good to say, do not say. Right? And that's in the scrolls. See, now, but she was upbeat, positive, no matter what. So I learned that foundation, but then I met this guy who was a friend of us, Randy.
Yeah.
And we were helping him out. We took my wife and I, Carrie, took him shopping because he really had no style whatsoever. We were at a mall in Moline, Illinois. And he says, let's go into this bookstore. And I said, okay. He goes, I want to show you something. And we went to the business area, and he pulled out this tape. Back then, there were cassette tapes. And he says, have you ever heard of Zig Ziglar? And I go, no. I said, I have never heard of Zig Ziglar. He goes, I'm going to buy this for you today, and I want you to listen to this every day. And I said, okay. And I listened to it every day. And I caught fire for Zig, for personal growth, right? To feed my mind every day the right things, to get my attitude up to altitude. Because you have to be able to work on you. Like I teach an hour of power to my people in 20 minutes a day to work on your spiritual life, okay? 20 minutes a day to work on your mindset, to feed the brain the right things. See, because a lot of people, especially in this world we're in today, this craziness, right? It's negative. See, so when you're feeding your brain negative, usually negative is constantly happening. You're manifesting negative thoughts, right? So you got to feed the mind every day to get your mind right, to get your attitude up to altitude, so you can produce a great day. And you can, not only that, and I always say this to my people, get better every day. Because why? Because it is our responsibility to make a difference for other people. We got to show them the way. We got to get them to see the bigger picture of life. And then the other 20 minutes is do some exercise. Maybe it's yoga, maybe it's go for a walk. So it'll take an hour to spend that on your day. But when you are working on your mindset every day and your personal growth, what happens over time, Dan? You taught me this, man, right? You taught me that it was so important to work on me. But when you do that every day over time, it compounds. See? And then it grows exponentially in the sense that you start saying things. Sometimes I catch myself and go, still today, I go, did I just say that? You know? But I know those are the things that people have to do to become the best they can be. It is about being the best you ever. And that's what keeps me driving. That's the thing that people can do to get past where they're at.
I love it, because what I sense, what I feel, what your friends' comments are, what your wife's comments are, what your kids' comments are, what everybody's feeling is this genuine, authentic you, which, to be committed to that 20 minutes and not let mind over mattress ever win, to not let the world win. You've got to start off like that. You've got to be sharp every day. You can't let your guard down. And so if you're joining us and you're a little bit late to the show here today, my name is Dan McCormick. He's Freddy Elias, the greatest salesman in the world. I'm going to ask you 2 follow-up questions, but before I do, I'm going to have my producer put up on the screen, if you can. Anyone that's new to us and you have not read this, we certainly, our sponsor for the show is the Augmandino Company, and our free gift to you that has a $99 value is called the Habit Finder gift, and that is go to habitfinder.com/act now, and you can measure your thoughts and see if they're aligned with the genuine, authentic principles that Aug is teaching in The Greatest Salesman in the World, just like Freddy has basically described to you. So, Freddy, take us now to where were you when you were given the challenge in life? Because the book can be read in 90 minutes. But the journey is a lifetime. So where were you when you first got the book? I'm guessing it was our friend Randy, who you said didn't have any style. He thought he had style, but
yeah, he did.
Style.
Yeah, he was a unique individual. What a great person.
We miss him.
Where was I, man? I'll tell you what. I bought it at I believe the mall in Peoria at a bookstore. And you were on stage and you talked about different books, Think and Grow Rich. You talked about, and you said this was one of your favorite books ever, The Greatest Salesman in the World. And then really we got it and I started reading it. And then my wife fell in love with it too. My wife has read, I think, every Og book out there. Yeah. And what's interesting, Dan, is it 100% changed my life, because this, and I always tell people, this is not a book about being a great salesperson, okay? Right. This is a book about becoming a great person, about having love in your heart, right? And when you read these things, and I will say, it is such an easy read. I mean, the scrolls are simple, quick, and easy, but it is so challenging to read this because it is about being consistent morning, noon, and at night to read the scroll, okay, at night out loud. But see, sometimes it's hard to stay the course, right? But when you start reading the scroll, okay, the scrolls, it embeds into your brain, and then it goes from your brain to your heart. See, And it teaches you so much. And I mean, I've got some favorite scrolls. I don't know if you're going to ask me that.
That's the follow-up question, of course, because we all, find things that are so pertinent to our own lives. I'm wondering which one jumps off the page for you this morning, today.
Well, what jumps off the page for me every day is I will greet scroll mark 2. I will greet this day with love in my heart.
Yeah.
And I think that's been kind of a natural one for me. You know what I mean? But it certainly does wake you up even more and makes you more conscious about love, and about, doing the right things every day. And I can say this, I'm good at what I do. I'm not the smartest. I mean, I got a 1.7 GPA. It took me 5 years to graduate high school. I know you got through college in 3 weeks or whatever. But the bottom line is that wasn't my thing. But I love people. And when I share things with people, Dan, it's not for my benefit, it's for their benefit. So, but the bottom line is that when I look at people and I meet people, I do it every time. I look them in the eyes and shake their hand, and I say to myself, I love you. And they can see that in my eyes, So that is that's my favorite, but I got to say, can I say a couple things here?
Please.
I scroll 3 is amazing. I will persist until I succeed.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, especially maybe the younger people today, because they want everything now. But, if you're doing whatever, you're starting your business or whatever you're doing, it takes time. It's about consistency every day. And I'm going to bring it to an analogy here, but one day at a time. I set goals, but I focus on my daily activity goals of what I got to do every day to make things happen, who I'm going to be in touch with, who I'm going to inspire. But it's just, you do it one day at a time, but you take in steps. And here's what I got to say. People are impatient. See, as you do the steps every day and you're doing what's right to grow, I say, am I doing right now helping me get to my goals? Am I doing right now making a difference for somebody, right? Pray to bless people every day. I always close up I do these lives every week, and I say, I'm in my closing. I ask you guys to pray to bless others.
Yeah.
Every day, bless somebody. And then every day, reach out and just tell somebody that you love them. You know what I mean? But the bottom line is this. The analogy is this, of being persistent. I didn't build a body in 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year, right? And there were times where I flattened out and plateaued. But I had to keep moving through. I had to keep going hard, honing some skills here and there to improve, right? But, people stop. And when they stop sometimes, then right around the corner is that big step of success. See, and then they get some of that, and you get some success, and all of a sudden that becomes contagious. And then you want more, so you keep doing more. One more, I gotta say this. I will be a master of my emotions.
Oh.
Scroll mark 6. And I can say that is a tough one, sometimes for me.
Yeah.
Maybe not you.
No, it's tough.
Okay.
I got 8 grandkids in the other room right now. And let me tell you, emotions have been, I'm trying to get the patience thing down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But being a master of your emotions, because it's easy to get frustrated, you see. And every day brings something different, Dan. And we all go through things. We all go through times. It's not all easy. And, sometimes it's financial. Sometimes it's personal stuff. Sometimes maybe, somebody gets sick. But we have to master the emotion. And ultimately, again, I go back and say this, keep working on you. when you work on the mindset and you're working on your heart and your spiritual self, your prayer, you know, and you're in your relationship here, and you're working on your mind every day and you're growing it and getting better, that helps you master the emotions. Because I say to people, I had to learn how to shorten up my downtime, how to shorten up my frustration time.
Wow. I hope somebody types that on the screen for us. How do I learn how to shorten up my downtime? That is wisdom. You know, I think that one of my mentors might have said, you know, a very successful mentor in the industry might have said something along the lines of, look, when we have people quit the business or we have people that have a bad attitude, it might get us down for 2 or 3 minutes where it used to be 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 weeks, 2 or 3 months. So how do you shorten the downtime? That's great. You know, it's interesting when you bring up this because I'm seeing people's comments on the screen. Your wife is the comment queen of the day. She's just throwing fireballs at us here, man. I don't know. Can you see on the screen the comments that are coming in?
Okay. I'll be honest with you. I can see, but I can't because I don't have my cheaters on.
Yeah. All right. So here's what I wanted to get to for our for all those that are joining us all over the world, wherever you may be. My, oh my, this is just so much. It's so resonating with me every day to hear you say the words that you just said about the approach to the day, the value of every single individual you get to shake hands with, and you get to feel that philia, that brotherly love, that warmth that says, hey, I trust in you. I'm excited about meeting you. I hope I can be there for you in some way, like some of my friends were for me. So it's kind of a pay it forward thing. But one of the things I wanted to know now for our listeners is I think it's just indicative of how in tune of the spiritual writings that Og gave us with these scrolls. In those first few words, to say, today I will be the master of my emotions. There's such a power to say, today I will be the master of my emotions. And then he goes on to give us those beautiful, beautiful words. The tides advance, the tides recede. Winter goes and summer comes. Summer wanes and the cold increases. I don't like reading to people while we're here, but it's just the point that you're bringing out is that to shorten that downtime, but to realize that for me, maybe it is for you, I feel like most of our life is spent in preparation for the next wave of growth that's going to come for our new best friend or our own life, our journey. So maybe that's some of the things you're talking. I don't know if there's words that jump off the page for you like me, but those first few words that he echoes in each scroll just are kind of wow.
Oh, big time wow. And that's why it's important for people to stay consistent at reading it. For some, they can read the whole scroll in 2 minutes. Yeah. For me, it's like 5 minutes, yeah. Right? But that's why it's important to be consistent at reading it 3 times a day. Because what that does is it just, you really start understanding. I mean, all the scrolls, the words are beautiful. Yeah. I mean, they really are. This guy was amazing, right? I mean, now he's a guy I'd like to interview.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay. To see where that stuff came from. But by doing that and reading over and over, right, it just goes inside you. And in those things, that's how we get better. That's why this book changes lives. Yeah. Let me say another thing. I would love if this was a curriculum in school.
Yeah.
Okay. But if the world today, we were reading this to our babies, our young ones, if the teenagers were reading this book and the adults were reading this book of the world today, and they did scroll mark 2 every day, 3 times a day, in 15 days, the atmosphere of the world would change. Yeah. You see? So what do the other ones become? What do the other scrolls do? But I know, and I always, and so I give these away. So I run promotions. Like today, I gave a choice. I got to show you this real quick.
I love it. It's one of my favorites of all time.
So my choice was this thing. It's a hydro jug.
Nice.
Or this book that will absolutely change your life.
Yeah.
And the guy says, I want the book because I need my life to be changed. So guess what? I'm going to give them both anyway.
I love it. I love it. And thank you, Rami, for jumping in, and Karen for jumping in. The comments, just keep them coming. We love, because it gives me feedback as I'm interviewing Freddy here as the greatest salesman in the world. And I want to say this because I think this is a really awesome thing. And that is, when Og wrote this in 1968, and of course, it finds its way on stage with Rich DeVos at Amway, and that was, the kickoff. And then I think it was 3 years later. Now, think about this, because the greatest salesman, but the journalized version is the greatest secret. So Freddy's got the greatest secret right there, the journalized version, where you take the notes, right, Freddy? And you've got your notes for the day. You've got how you did, how you gauged yourself and rated yourself on the day. So again, the brilliance of The Greatest Salesman, a book that's not about sales. There's no sales closing techniques. There's no opening techniques. There's no techniques. It's like you said, it's just about being a better person. So the secret, I love the secret. It's just the true secret of having you on here today is maybe that between the two of us, there's something that Rami just said. He's been reading the scrolls for 20 months, but he's been out of the pattern in the last few days, the last few weeks. So maybe we're the trigger to help Rami get back on the horse and just be consistent and just realize, Fred, there is no shortcut in the gym. I'm pretty sure you can tell me that.
Not at all, brother.
Anyone that wants to just do the upper arms and not do the calves is not going to show well.
A lot of those guys.
A lot of those guys, exactly.
Yeah.
So let's talk now just for a minute about, you've mentioned about greeting each day with love in your heart. You've talked about these three things: God, family, work ethic. The can I, that's the old Japanese, Tony Robbins, I think, is where I first heard that constant and never-ending improvement. We can really look at some great, genuine lives to validate that. Ben Franklin, 64 years of his life working on those 13 virtues, which is a powerful thing. So how do you see it playing out for you at this juncture? You're the greatest salesman in the world. You're the greatest husband in the world, the greatest family guy. I mean, you've just given yourself to the cause of betterment each and every day. What's next for you? What's a goal? What's something that gets you out of bed every morning right now?
Well, let me say this. I think I got the greatest wife in the world.
Yeah.
Rather than me being the greatest husband in the world.
Yeah.
But, I'm just fired up about life. And again, I go back and I say to you this, Dan, I go to bed at night and I can't wait to get up in the morning.
Wow. That's so cool.
And, but I love people. And I told you, I said, my big thing is Dan, I have been blessed and I grew up with not much. Mm-hmm. And a lot of my adult life, we struggled, as far as marriage, financially. And, I want to say this, I was intimidated by people with money because of where I grew up. And as I started doing better, and I used to think this, I didn't feel like I used to say, God, why me? Because, my first business, I was really doing pretty well for that time. And then I would self-sabotage because I'm saying, God, why me? Why not these other people that need help? And honestly, this book made me realize, that I was worthy. Okay. So, and then I had to grow and mature. And I will say one other thing. This book reads different today than it did when I first picked it up.
Yes. Oh, what a profound statement. Someone
Okay.
type that in, please.
So, you know, I encourage people to read and stay the course, because your life will change, trust me, in different ways, not just in business, in relationships and how you feel about you. But again, I go back and say, my life's changed. I have lots of gratitude. I feel so blessed. So why? What drives me? So I can help other people's lives change also. I mean, Dan is my biggest thing. I am driven to see people grow. I'm driven to see people dream again. I'm driven to see people get better. I want to see their lives be fulfilled, not just financially, you know, but that's a big part of what I do. See, I love it to see the success. I love to see people's life change, and their kids and their family. So I think to say that, you know, that's why I get up. That's why I work every day. My family is my life. They're so important to me, and I want to leave a legacy for not only my children but for their children. You know, so
Stephen Covey taught me that when you're raising your children, you're raising your grandchildren. That's a beautiful thing to see. As I have all the grandkids in the other room, we're here at the lake, we're doing all the stuff, and you can see habits of teaching principles, habits of church curriculum Sunday, habits of good language. You know, that's one thing I'll say about you. I don't know that I've ever heard you use a 4-letter word. And I think that I don't know that Og Mandino would have ever used a 4-letter word. I think that one thing you just said here a moment ago, and I want to reiterate this because this is a very massive moment in this podcast. What Fred said about how he felt about money is a very, very big deal in your journey. And I challenge everyone, if you have not taken that assessment, you're going to find this unbelievable science of axiology from the University of Tennessee nail every thought process you have, not what you think, but how you think. And you will see it show up on the screen. It'll take you 15 minutes to take this assessment at habitfinder.com. There it is on the screen right now, /act now. That's scroll number 9. Act now. Don't wait. Just do it. It's free. It's for your benefit, not mine. It's not Freddy's. It's for yours. So my paradigm with money was very challenged as well, Fred. And it was interesting. I worked in a fitness center, a tennis club around wealthier people than me as a kid. But it was interesting when I got into sales, it wasn't really so much about being intimidated by people that had money as I felt weird taking money when I made the sale. And it wasn't until I went through the transition of knowing that the gift that I was giving them for health, well-being, skincare, weight loss, opportunity, finance, whatever it might be, you know, it's so much bigger than the $30, $50, $100, $500,000 that might be transferring. So that was a great, great point that you brought out about how you feel. What is your relationship with money? My hands are like this when I do my meditation and my breathing, you know, palms up. We're ready to receive the goodness if we just are willing to give it back. So thank you for bringing that. I don't know that anyone's brought that out in the show to date in its history at this point. Any further thoughts on that as I reiterate your words there in your relationship with money?
No, I think I'm good, and I appreciate you, you know, coming back with what you just shared, because you know it's important.
Yeah, really is. This has been a joy. I wonder now, in conclusion, you got people that are listening, and as Carrie says here right now, paying it forward. And there will be people that watch the show today. They'll hashtag people on Facebook, pay it forward. You can watch it on YouTube. They can pay it forward. And I wonder what you would say to the newest individual today, getting the journey started. Maybe somebody's been on a plateau longer than they want to be. Maybe take a minute or two in closing and talk to that brand new person on the journey.
Well, you know, first of all, you know, you taught me something too, that you have to learn to enjoy the plateau as much as you do the momentum. And I think the reality of that is it's going to happen anyway.
Exactly.
It's kind of like this is sunrise in the east to the west. Don't spend a lot of time on it because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, but during that plateau, I learned that that's when I need to spend more time working on me. And so that can be easily a time to be frustrated. But again, what is that going to do but drain your energy? You know, but the act now part is important. And I think that there's, we talk about working on yourself, spending time growing you, getting your mindset right, attitude up to altitude, stretching your comfort zone. Sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
But I always say to my people, your income equals your comfort zone. But acting is key because no matter how much you work on you, because knowledge without action equals nothing.
I think you got a phone call there. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a call.
The last 20 seconds.
But knowledge without action equals zero. And here's the thing is people have to take it like this. They need to do it, right? And anyway, the bottom line is this, and I always say to people, you know, when I was growing up, I wanted to be something special, Dan. You know, I was driven. I wanted to do something special, be something special. I wanted to make a difference, you know? So anyway, I had to take action but take the steps. The journey is the journey. So anyway, the assessment is amazing. It was fun for me. It's free. Go after it. And so anyway, but I don't know if you're there. You seem to be frozen. So anyway, I had a great time on here, and you are frozen. So I'm going to sit tight. Technology is wonderful. I think maybe Dan is lost. Could somebody comment? If you guys are still seeing me, comment in. I'm going to try to see you. Yes. Habit Finder assessment. Take that assessment. It's awesome. I loved it. I took it back in, I think, November of 18. And we're still live. So anyway, I think we're still live. Miriam, are we still live? I'll chat if we are still live. If not, I'm not going to keep talking. Take us home, Freddy. Is that what you said? Hey, anyway, I had a blast. I appreciate all you guys being on here. And